Do you know that feeling when you're listening to a podcast in your target language, but the podcast is just too advanced for you? So by the time you understand 1 to 3 words or maybe 3 sentences, they already switch topics multiple times. Or the podcast is so basic that you understand everything. Therefore, it's too boring for you. Well, I maybe have a solution for you. And by the end of this video, I will teach you how you can create your own podcasts on your own level. So it will not get boring and you will still learn. Okay, let's get started. What is NotebookLM? I will try to explain it super simple. So NotebookLM is a free AI tool made by Google that helps you understand your own content. That means PDFs, articles, YouTube videos, blog posts, even transcripts. Think of it as a super smart assistant that only reads what you give it. You can upload your own materials and then you can ask it questions, so you can chat with your materials, get summaries or vocab lists, generate mind maps, and one of my favorite features, turn it into a custom podcast. It doesn't make things up, it just helps you go deeper into your sources, and that's why it works so well for language learning. To access NotebookLM, you will type notebooklm.google. Then we will click on Try NotebookLM. And after this, we will go on Create New. So we will create a new notebook. Once we are here, we need to upload our sources. You can add Google Docs, Google Slides, YouTube links, or just copy and paste text. But honestly, I think the easiest way is to use YouTube video transcript. For this video, I'm using a podcast in Chinese. It's pretty advanced, but let me show you how to upload it. First, find a YouTube video you like in your target language. Then just paste the link into NotebookLM and press Insert. It will take a couple of moments and, just like that, you'll get a complete transcript of the video. If you're wondering, this is the main NotebookLM dashboard. There are 3 panels: Sources, Chat, and Studio. Here's the source we just uploaded. If you just click on it, you'll get a short summary of the video. And if you scroll a bit down, you'll see the full transcript. At first I wondered, is this transcript originally in Chinese or English? But as you can see, the summary says Chinese podcast guest, but the actual transcript in NotebookLM is in English, but on YouTube you will find it in Chinese. That's because NotebookLM automatically translates the transcript into your account's language, which in my case is English. We'll talk more about this translation part later, but for now we have successfully uploaded our source. So first step is to set our output language. This is something we need to do before customizing anything. To do that, click on Settings, then go to Output Language and choose the language you're learning. In my case, I'll set it to Chinese, but you can choose whatever language you're studying at the moment. Spanish, French, Japanese, whatever works for you. As you can see, you have a huge selection. Now I'll press Save and let's test if everything has switched to Chinese. A simple way to check is to generate a quick briefing doc. So let's do that. We will wait for just a few seconds. And yeah, as you can see, the output is now entirely in Chinese. And I can understand a bit of it, so I'm happy with that. Step 2 is to customize and generate your podcast. Now we're going to turn the source we uploaded, an advanced Chinese podcast, into a simplified version tailored for language learners. So let's go back to the podcast tab and hit Customize. Here we will write our custom prompt. You need this for the podcast to match your language level. For this example, I'll keep it very simple. Explain this in simple Chinese using HSK4 vocabulary. Use 80% Chinese and 20% English. This prompt helps balance challenge and comprehension. Later on, I'll show you how to write more complex prompts, but for now, let's press Generate. It's done. The generation took about 3 to 4 minutes. Let's take a quick listen.
他是怎么做到的？用一种好像不是去上课的那种方法，更像是一种 natural immersion， 自然的融入，就把中文说得这么好。
Natural immersion. Okay, we can hear the AI is using natural immersion in English. So the mix worked. I actually understood that part of the story, and I'm sure if I listened to the original podcast directly, I wouldn't have caught it because it's still too fast and advanced for me. Quick tip, if you're planning to listen on your phone or while you're doing other tasks, I recommend downloading the podcast. NotebookLM often takes a few moments to reload the audio each time you reopen the application. Now, let's try something even better. I'm going to regenerate the podcast using the exact prompt I've been using for Chinese lately. It gives me the best results for my level. First, I'll need to delete the current conversation to start fresh. Here is my full custom prompt. And just as a reminder, this is still completely free. On the free plan, you can generate 3 podcasts per day, which I think is more than enough for regular practice. Let's listen the results.
你好，今天我们来聊一个很多朋友都挺关心的话题。
As you can hear, it's much simpler and I find it more comprehensible than the original. Let me show you how to create your own prompts and podcasts in your target language. For this example, I'll use a Spanish language YouTube video about ChatGPT. It's over 1 hour long and I chose it on purpose because NotebookLM can actually handle longer videos too. As you can see, the video is titled Customizing ChatGPT for Advanced Users, and we'll turn it into something much easier to understand. A short Spanish podcast for A2, B1 level learners. So step 1 will again be change the output language first. We need to go to settings, then select output language and choose Spanish. There are lots of languages available here, so you can pick the one you're learning. Once I select Spanish, I'll press save and refresh the page. Now we can already see the summary is in Spanish, which means everything is working properly. Step 2 is to create a custom prompt with ChatGPT. NotebookLM has a 500 character limit for customization prompts. So instead of writing it by hand, I like to prepare my prompt in ChatGPT. Here is the general structure I use, and you can copy this for any language. This prompt will be in the description. So the prompt is create a podcast in target language at a level for 2 hosts. Use simple sentences. If a tough word appears, add a brief explanation. Once I have that, I go to ChatGPT and type. Please adjust this prompt. I'm using it for NotebookLM to learn Spanish, and my level is between A2, B1. Okay, and then I'll follow up with there is a 500 character limit. Please adjust the prompt to fit. So ChatGPT gives me a shortened, simplified version, often in Spanish, and I just paste that into NotebookLM to generate the podcast. You can do this for any language and level. Just update the placeholders and ask ChatGPT to simplify the structure while keeping it useful. And now the best step. Once I paste the prompt, I hit generate, and in a few minutes the podcast is ready. Let's listen.
Hola, hoy vamos a meternos un poco en el mundo de ChatGPT.
Sí, hemos estado mirando bastante sobre esta herramienta, ¿verdad? Esto de la inteligencia artificial que está por todas partes.
So the original video was over an hour long, but the generated podcast is around 5 minutes, which is great for focused practice. A bonus tip, you can download and reuse your podcast. After downloading the podcast audio, I re-upload it as a source into NotebookLM. Why? Because this gives me the transcript, which I can later use for shadowing practice, turn it into flashcards, or even send back to ChatGPT to create exercises or role-play scenarios. You can also regenerate the podcast. Even if you use the same source and the same prompt, the podcast will be slightly different every time. It's a great way to reinforce listening And for me, it keeps things interesting. Every time I regenerate, I catch new words and feel a bit more confident. Try it yourself. If you want to try this, pick a short article or a video like I did, upload it to NotebookLM, get a transcript, write a prompt in ChatGPT or use a prompt I already provided, generate your podcast and try to re-listen it like in a few days, or generate a slightly different podcast every day and see in a few days how many words did you learn. It's simple, it's personal, and it works.